What's going on, you beautiful people, and welcome back to a late night episode of the Cookie Mug Podcast. And this is the official third episode. Give a round of applause for that one. So I've been gone for a little while. If you guys haven't seen the recent video that I uploaded 2 or 3 days ago, I was pretty sick and I came back eventually because I started feeling better and I can now make the content at my best. And I'll never give you guys content, especially when I'm not at my best. So, yeah, I'm back feeling much better than I initially was feeling. So, you're probably wondering what this episode's going to be revolving around. If you weren't aware on Twitter, which I really don't blame you if you're not on Twitter, a huge situation regarding VShojo and the YouTuber known as Nux Taku had spiraled out of control, pretty much a wildfire. So, how did this situation become such a huge thing? Because it was pretty much all over my recommendation feed on YouTube. People explain or giving their thoughts on the situation. I want to give my thoughts on it because the more I looked into it, it's a pretty interesting topic in my opinion. So, how did this whole thing spiral out of control? So I believe a doxer about a month ago was impersonating the company known as VShojo, and the doxer was sending fake emails to indie VTuber streamers saying that they got accepted to be in the company. Now, apparently, getting accepted to one of these companies, I think like Hololive or VShojo, like those type of companies. I'm not really familiar with this business. Apparently, if you get accepted, you're pretty much set for life as a VTuber. So what was the problem? Well, someone was using or had created a fake website to make everything look legit. They had to use like some fake domains and everything, and they were sending emails that looked pretty legit, and it required for them for the person that they sent, they sent the email to the person. They required the VTuber to fill it out, right? Cuz they think it's legit. And then, they accidentally dox themselves by giving themselves their personal, information. And not only have they been doxxed, but they've also been swatted. I think one got swatted. I don't really remember the name, but in case you don't know what swatting or doxing is, I'm gonna explain it real quick. Swatting is when someone calls pretty much the name is in the word, the SWAT team over to your house, which is pretty deadly actually. If you didn't know, there was a couple of, or not even a couple, but a lot of deaths that came out of swatting. And doxing is when your personal information gets leaked out to the public, which is equally as bad, but swatting takes the cake in that type of situation. Now, the original doxer that was sending these fake emails tried to hack a YouTuber or a VTuber known as Nux Taku, and he was actually swatted in the past before. And this pretty much sparked, because when he found out that he was about to get doxed, he caught on to the scheme that the evildoer was doing. He wanted to let other people know, so he went out of his way and he made a video on the whole situation to spread awareness of the doxer going around trying to get everyone's information. And he uploads the video. Boom, bing, bam, boom, right? What's the problem? He did a service, he let everyone know about the ongoing situation. What was the problem? Well, apparently behind the scenes, he was asked not to upload the video by several VTubers as well as the company. And the reason as to why is because the VTubers that asked him not to were fearing for their safety because they believed they would get doxxed. And the other reason was because people believe that since he now pretty much made a video, because he's a pretty big YouTuber, he made a video on it and he pretty much gave the doxer the heads up that, yeah, we are on to you. They pretty much got mad at him for that reason too, because then the investigation could have been delayed. Now, these types of investigations don't take a week. They actually take a pretty long time, sometimes even up to a year. And I guess, yeah, any time that is wasted or gets set back, especially now that the doxer could have the potential to cover up their tracks better, I can kind of understand where that type of backlash came from. But I felt like Nux's heart was definitely in the right place when he made the video, but I'm going to explain why further into this episode right now. So, following the video, this hate mob against Nux Taku didn't really start until VTubers started making Twitter posts on Twitter, pretty much saying how Nux used them for views and how they're disappointed that even regardless after asking Nux pretty much, or quote unquote, from one of the posts, pretty much begging Nux not to upload the video. They were saying how disappointed they were, how they felt betrayed, and fans will do what fans will do. They started sending hate towards Nux, calling him a traitor, a clout chaser, and a bad friend. But Nux would later respond to all of these, allegations, and he would defend himself properly. He came out with a video of his own, I think a few or a day later, or no, I'm sorry. This I saw this whole thing go down. So he actually uploaded a video, I think on the same day that he was getting canceled, and he made the video and he showed evidence that there was no VTuber that had quote unquote begged him not to upload the video. As in a matter of fact, the company that pretty much said, "Oh, I wish he would have kept it private," they were actually openly encouraging him to upload the video, saying that it was his right as a victim of the situation. And what I don't understand is why they backtracked so hard on that statement. There is proof. There is screenshots in that video that prove that Nux was pretty much given the green light to upload the video. So this backlash was, kind of fishy. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It was kind of fishy how everyone said, "Oh yeah, no, I definitely told." Okay. He said there wasn't anyone that told him, but and I'm not trying to say here that he's saying complete truth because there was evidence regardless. But who knows? Maybe someone did beg him not to upload the video. But as far as he showed us and what we know, that was just not the case. And the hate was just completely unjustified at that point. It almost felt like it was orchestrated against Nux from the beginning. Now later on in the during this whole situation, VTubers did come out and apologize to Nux for the post that they sent and some of the hate that he received. And that's class act on their end. But what seriously ticks me is the fact that VShojo threw Nux under the bus and allowed him to take all of the hate alone and pretty much making him feel pretty bad about the situation when he shouldn't have felt bad at all. He was doing something out of the kindness of his heart. He was doing it because he didn't want anyone else to fall for this, doxing situation. But again, it wasn't just VShojo that kind of pissed me off, and I rarely ever use that word. Actually, you know what? No, they take the number one spot in that. It was the second place is how I still don't understand why people started, and by people I mean the VTuber creators. I don't understand why they started to come out with stories against Nux that just it all sounds like Nux, Nux would do this, and I don't understand why they were coming out with like were taking advantage of the situation, coming out with stories against Nux, which I'm not even gonna bother to cover, because some of them was I'm not even gonna lie, were low key kind of funny because we're not funny, but it's just kind of sometimes hard to believe. But all right, I want to explain one. There was this YouTuber called Snuffy, and she was expressing how uncomfortable she was feeling when Nux was in her stream, pretty much giving her, I think, money to watch a video about the Logan Paul situation. I'm not. I just kind of find that funny. It was banter, it was friendly banter, and in the video where she was getting told or not like demanded, but she was getting told, "Hey, watch this video, the Logan Paul video." She was laughing. She didn't show any sign of "Oh, I feel uncomfortable in it." And she came out with a story saying how uncomfortable she felt in that situation. But in the clip, you can see she didn't show any signs of that. But enough about that. Pretty much even after all that, they all apologized. I think a majority, except for I think Mystic Melody. She actually was one of the ones that had the hard hitting post that she made against Nux, saying how disappointed she was. And she, as far as I know, and I said this in a reply to a tweet under the video, uh, I like to think that Mystic Melody did I keep saying Mystic Melody. It's Project Melody. Get it right. I like to think that she apologized to Nux behind the scenes, and she has yet to do it publicly. Some are saying she has to do it publicly because of the post she made, and it was, pretty bad. Um, I don't think she has to do it publicly. I mean, it would be nice, right? Because then it would be confirmed that she apologized to Nux. But I'd like to think that they all handle this privately. Um, and that might be the case actually, because I think as of recording this, they're still following each other on Twitter. And yeah, I'm pretty sure they apologize possibly behind the scenes. I mean, they're pretty good friends from what I see. And yeah, of course, it would be pretty sad if that's not the case, to see a friendship go down that way instead of, mending the situation. But again, that's none of my business. Now, I wanted to tackle more on this VShojo doxing side of things, in the swatting. People were, oh no, I'm sorry, not the people, but VShojo came out and said how they would have wished for Nux not to keep the video or not even release it, but when there was proof that they were pretty much encouraging it, saying it was his right to do the video in the first place. um Here's my problem with that. I saw a clip. I don't really remember from who this YouTuber or VTuber. I had to do a lot of VTuber section. I had to do a lot of VTuber research, and my recommendation is now filled with content about them. Like it's not bad, of course. Some is actually low key funny, but it's literally just it's now destroyed. My recommendation is screwed. But yeah, there was a clip that I saw that apparently VShojo knew about this individual causing these doxing attacks, and it just kind of blew my mind for how long they actually knew. It was confirmed that they knew for 8 to 9 months. So this whole time they were getting mad at Nux because he made the video public, warning everyone about the doxer, and they're over here sitting on this very very dangerous piece of, something that could potentially save someone. They couldn't have warned them in the 8 to 9 months, grace period. They couldn't have sent a private email, nothing that could have warned the indie VTubers in their community. They couldn't have said, hey, there's this person, or there's this scammer that's pretending to be us, yada yada. They couldn't have done something about that. They couldn't have alerted the indie VTubers so that they could avoid getting doxxed. Imagine how many of those streamers got doxxed in the 8 to 9 months. It's just mind-boggling. At that point, Nux was doing them a favor pretty much for free and in their blessing. So, what really was the issue with the video going up publicly when it's doing something that VShojo failed to do for 8 to 9 months, which was warn the VTubers? What was the real issue with that? It's just, I feel like it's so morally incorrect for them to sit on this piece of information that pretty much would do someone good by letting the public in their community know. I don't understand the thought process behind it. Eventually people were gonna find out, but it sadly had to be the way that, transpired during this, I'm pretty sure, the entire Thanksgiving week. It was sad to have to see it go down in such a miserable way when it could have been avoided in such a simple way, which was alert the content creators of the community, let them know about the situation, be transparent with your people, protect them pretty much. But they VShojo again failed to do it. That's why I'm kind of mad, because they had this information they could have avoided. Or I don't know, actually I have no idea how many people were actually doxxed. I know about the one that I mentioned earlier in this podcast episode. I know about that one, but what if there's a VTuber out there with a small voice that got doxxed, got swatted, and they can't really, their voice is literally drowned out, and all because VShojo again neglected to fail, or I'm neglected to fail. Wow. Okay, my grammar is on point. I'm sorry, guys. They neglected to warn their people. I keep repeating myself, but that's just messed up. I can't. I don't know why they wouldn't have just warned people ahead of time. And Nux did them a huge favor by doing that. I mean, now people are more aware of the situation, especially because the drama absolutely blew up. At the end of the day, pretty much to the point that I'm trying to get to is, if you're still sending hate to Nux because of this situation, I feel like you should really reevaluate the situation. Like, go back to the beginning of the whole thing, right? And I would usually say, "Oh, if you're doing this to someone, go screw yourself." No, I actually want you, the viewer, to, or the listener, depending on how you're watching this. I want you to go back to the beginning of this whole situation and come back. You know, go back, research the whole thing from the beginning to the end, and please come into the comment section and tell me whether your opinion has changed on this whole situation, because I've seen people, and I'm very happy that these people, I also did this, they waited. That's the thing you guys have to do when it comes to these type of situations. You have to wait till more information arrives, um I that's why it took so long for me to get around to this video, because even during the recording of the podcast, this is actually my second take on this episode. More information came out regarding the situation, because I thought the thing was already done with, Nux looking like the bad guy, which at the end of the day ended up being not the truth. I was actually defending Nux in the beginning, and I probably, what if Nux really was the bad person in this whole situation? I would have probably screwed up. You know what I mean? And by the way, I'm not saying that he was the bad person. It's pretty obvious that his intents were, you know, pretty much pure. So there was no way I was gonna go against Nux, because the purpose behind that video was, good intentions. So what I'm trying to get at is, you have to wait for everything to, for the dust to settle pretty much before forming an official opinion on something or someone, because you never know how bad that can affect someone when you just jump the gun and, not wait for something. I mean, look, this whole situation is an example of two things. One, when people don't wait and just, they, and by the way, Nux has a history, right? You pretty much couldn't cancel him by the looks of it at the time before this whole situation. People resented Nux in the community, which is, I think, was pretty stupid, but they all were like throbbing from the mouth to have a reason to come at Nux, and it was just disgusting to see that. So one, you gotta wait for all the information to come out, because you never know when you might look like dummy in the situation. And two, this whole thing is an example of miscommunication. One of my favorite things is having communication with my friends or anything, because you never know what could happen. This whole situation is that an example of miscommunication. And here's my theory. I have a theory that VShojo, or Mystic Mel, for example, we're gonna use Mystic Melody for an example. She reached out to the VShojo, and she's asking about the situation that Nux made. No, well, not Nux made. She's asking about the situation about the video about what Nux posted, and I'm pretty sure she knew about it as well before the video went up, and she was okay with it as well. I think this is just a speculation. And then after Mystic, or I keep saying Mystic Melody, it's Project Melody. I'm just saying Mel. She asked VShojo about this video, right? And then VShojo, out of just, I don't know what they were thinking of, they just say, "Oh no, we didn't ask, we didn't endorse the video. We actually would have wanted it to stay private, because it might hinder the thing." That's the only way that I can see them trying and justifying saying that they all told Nux not to upload the video, because Nux reportedly said the only person that ever told him not to upload the video was his own brother. No one else came at him. No one else asked him not to upload the video. It was only his brother. You see why I'm saying you need to wait for these, when in these types of situations, especially because you're pretty much risking, life and death at that point, because, swatting and everything. In these types of situations, you have to wait for more information to come out. I cannot stress this enough. And I think that's gonna be it on my side about this. VShojo, massive screw up on their ends. For the as for the content creators and the community themselves, I mean, they didn't know. You know what I mean? I mean, they probably it could have this whole thing could have been orchestrated for all I know. You know, the hate against Nux, but a majority of them didn't know. You know what I mean? And things were taken out of context that could have made Nux look like the bad guy. And at the end of the day, you know, he proved his innocence. And the people that, by the way, if you stood by Nux publicly, like several other people did, I applaud you 100%. Because it doesn't take a genius to realize what the purpose behind that video was. And it was definitely not for clout. It was, I don't feel like Nux is that type of guy, if I'm being honest. But yeah, that's really my entire opinion on that whole situation. By the time this episode goes up, it'll probably be not, it probably won't be relevant anymore, if I'm being honest. But thank you so much for stopping by this third episode of the Cookie Mud podcast. If you did enjoy, you know, these talk shows, please leave a like. And if you're new, subscribe. This might not be, I'm sorry if these episodes are coming out slow. It's not my intentions, I swear to God. It's just expect the fourth episode to come out soon, and we might talk about the Augie thing. The only reason I haven't been able to upload these types of podcast episodes is because number one, it takes time, and number two, I live with family, so you know I have to pick a specific time to record where there isn't a lot of background noises, you know, with dish pans clashing against each other and my mom calling my sisters names. You know, just, you know, I had to pick a specific time. And as of recording this, it's well over midnight. So, yeah, that's going to be it for today. What is your thoughts on this whole situation? Let me know in the comment section below. But that's going to be it for today. Much love and peace.